Welcome back to the channel. Here today to talk about Hot Chili Limited, a copper mining stock on the ASX, current market cap $103 million, and they've got $26 billion of copper in the ground, USD, and then they've got about $5 billion of gold in the ground, USD. Let's have a look at the projects and where they are in the world. So this is South America, this is Chile, and here's the projects here. Within a 20-kilometer radius of each other, we've got Cortadera, which is a larger one, and then Productura, which is about half the size, and this little small one here. I can't actually remember how big that one is, but it's insignificant compared to these other ones. It's a great metal. It's on our electrical cables around the house, some of our plumbing pipes, and the price today is about $6,984. So I've done my calculation at $6,500, so a bit generous on my behalf. And if we look up here, gold is at $1,917, and I've done my calculations at $1,900. So let's have a look at these calculations. So let's look at the total reserves from the two mines that they have. They're currently drilling, and this is how much they've discovered so far, and they could even discover more in the future. So Productura, the smaller of the two mines, copper, $7.8 billion USD, gold, $1.52 billion USD, Cortadera, the larger of the two, $18.85 billion USD, and $5.13 billion USD in gold. So the grand totals here, add those together, you get $33.3 billion. So let's look at this little chart here for copper supply and demand, million tons. It's showing a short supply in the amount, meaning the price is probably likely to go up. And this is a very good thing for hot chili. So notice today's, or the recent price per pound of copper, $3. So take that into consideration when we look at these next figures here. We're going to look at a rough figure of how much margin they're going to make on all this copper they've got. So I've had a look at this website, S&P Global Market Intelligence. You see here, Chile, biggest copper producer within 28% of global production. And hot chili is in Chile. So this here is the cost it takes them to get the copper out of the ground. It'll be case by case. Obviously, if you're a better low cost producer, you're going to be better than the rest. And open pit mining is going to be more cheaper than digging underground mines. Things like this you have to take in consideration. Here's some costs: labor, fuel, reagents. You have to react the copper ore to get the copper out, etc. Electricity, other costs, transport, royalty, so they'll probably have to pay out the Chilean government, corporate overhead, reclamation. List goes on. You can read through that yourself if you wish, turning the computer on its side. So if you remember, the other price there was $3 per pound for the copper. So the cost to get it out could be said to be $1.90. So that means the margin is approximately 30%. So back to our chart of how much billion dollars of copper they have in the ground. 26 billion, we'll say 26 billion. Times that by not 30% because that's a bit generous. We'll go about 20%. So 26 times 0.2. It's about say $5 billion USD, and then they've probably got setup costs. Maybe that's $1.5 billion. You got the trucks, you got the processing plant, all that stuff like that. I called the lady from the company. She said $750 million for, I think, one plant. I'm not sure if that covers both mines, but we'll just double that anyway. Go to 1.5 billion because we're very conservative here. So we've got $3.5 billion USD after we've paid for everything, and that'll be sitting in the bank account. And to buy the company today, it's $100 million Australian. So obviously take all those figures with a grain of salt. They're not completely correct. Could be things I left out. Obviously they're just drilling the resource now, and then they're going to have to raise the money to build the plant and then start mining it to produce the money. Or someone like BHP, who has money in the back pocket, could come buy them out earlier, and that's good for anyone buying now, in my opinion. So BHP, if you remember, hot chili has about 4 million tons of copper. That's copper, not the body, the actual copper. So to compare that against these other ones, you'd have to get this billion tons, times it by the grade to see how that compares to us. So obviously the higher the grade, the less mine reserves here they need, and also the cheaper it will be because they're mining less rock to get more copper. And obviously then you have the factors such as underground mining, which is probably more expensive than open pit mining. So I'll leave that at that, and we'll go through some exciting things happening with copper in the future. So this article, Copper, How Tesla's Biggest Ingredient Could Make You Rich in 2020. This guy might be buying hot chili copper as well. So anyway, there are roughly 180 pounds of copper in every electric vehicle. That's 45,000 tons just for Tesla each year. So if you didn't know, the world's going to electric vehicles from the internal combustion engine, and the motors inside them are made from copper, along with all the copper wiring, etc., etc. So this is the vehicle sales to grow dramatically. So you got 180 pounds of copper for every vehicle, and then you've got 1 million vehicles here. So do the maths on that if you wish. I think that's it for this article. And that's pretty much all I want to say. Just remember, copper's in housing, all electrical wires, copper pipes. If a plumbing pipe has to be in the sun, it can't really be plastic, so it'll have to be copper. And comment below what other uses are for copper. And remember, it's highly recyclable. So once you're done with it, it's a bit scrappy looking. Take it to the scrap yard. You can actually get that money yourself, which is what I do as a plumber. And copper is just great. Not like gold, which has no real use. Copper has a real use that we really need. And I'll leave it at that. Thanks for watching. Thumbs up if you enjoyed the video, and subscribe. And I'll see you in the next one.